Alright, I'm on hole number 18 of the Vintage Open tournament. I'm in the opening round of the rookie division. It is Thursday, so it's early on. Let's see how many people have played here. We still got tons of people to play. So, don't know what the... I know when it started off that me and one other person that's way down at the bottom were the only ones that came into it with a 13 qualifier. And we were at the top, and then there was some 24s below us, a bunch of 24s. So, looking at 24s being, if there's the top 15 or 20 get a 24, then you're looking in the weekend round at a whole bunch of people getting 24. So, I'm not sure how it's going to play out. They seem pretty, I don't know. You can get in trouble on these holes real quick and just be cruising along, and all of a sudden, bam, have something bad happen. But I'll be curious to see how it ends up as Friday goes along and where people are scoring out up here. I really think you're going to have better than a 24 on the weekend round in order to be in the top 5, or in order to be in order to win. So depending on your bracket, some brackets maybe a 24 a win, but I would say most of the brackets, if you've got higher than a 24, you're definitely in the hunt for a win. We'll have to see as it goes on. So here, this last hole being a birdie hole, I really got to get an eagle on it in order to get one up so that I can get a tiebreaker that separates me from the crowd. So I dropped 2 of the par 5s. I have no idea what I was thinking. And it was all human error. So, I did something wrong in the setup, and I don't know. I messed 2 of them up, but I picked up 2 holes. I made a hole in one, and I ended up making an eagle on the last par 5. So I've got a shot here. I put myself back on track for the 24, and so this is my final hope, Obi-Wan, of picking up a shot. So I'm going to use my extra mile, and I'm going at it with a katana. I'm going to use my first bag because I'm going to use a guardian, so I need an extra mile and a guardian and a katana. Hole number 18. Here we go. Need an eagle. Here, let's see if I go first. I do go first. So I'm going to use 4 topspin. And all the curl I can get on with that 4 topspin. I want to be about a ring and a half down, right at the red line. I'm going to take the wind out. That's a little shy of 2 rings. Maximum curl. Now I just need to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Getting that straight bounce. Trying to roll out towards that edge. And I don't need to be up against that edge. Where I'm at's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to open up that throat like a lot of people are to come into it where I hit off that hill face. I don't want anything to do with that hill face. I want to start off on the green. So it's all about getting this backspin shot right. So it's maximum backspin and about 1.5 right hand side spin, and I need to start off to the right of the hole. So there's my red line right there. About 1.5 right hand side spin. I want to find that spot right there. I'm starting off. Okay, so I'm going to do a 1-5 adjustment because I'm mid club, so it's about 2 rings. And we just want to hit it straight and perfect. And I hit it great to the right. Now with this kind of shot, you really have no idea. I mean, great to the right could be the shot, and great to the right could be a mile away. That's a mile away. But that backboard is so steep, you're going to end up, in a worst case scenario, you're going to end up on the fringe. Because it's so steep, I don't think you can hang on the fairway. That's why when people are shooting up from this direction, I see people end up short here all the time, and they didn't put on all of the topspin, especially if they brought a big dog, and they have all of this backboard that they could use, and that hardly anybody ever wants to shoot up into it. Our opponent hit perfect. Hit that face. See that bounce? And I don't want anything to do with that bounce. I don't want anything to do with that bounce. And I've seen people make it from using that bounce shot, but I don't want anything to do with that hillside. Putting it in for birdie. So we got a 24. So a 24 is going to put us in the top groupings, but I think there's going to be a lot of people with a 24. If you want to separate yourself from the crowd so that when you get, if you get in the top 10 or if you get in the top 5, those tiebreakers become all important. That was not the round I was looking for, but I did start off the round with, like I wanted to have at least a 24 for tiebreakers, because I knew that would be at least somewhere towards the top. But in the qualifying rounds, so you think about it, there's 10 people in each qualifying round, so it takes 10 qualifying rounds to get here. And if the top score was a 12, and that means you get the top 10 are in the 24. So, and that there was guys below that didn't peak or didn't hit it right or made a mistake or whatever. So, you could, on the weekend round, in some of these brackets, and in the bracket that I usually end up in the weekend rounds, you're looking at a couple guys from each one of those 10. So there's 20 guys in this bracket right here that are super capable of shooting a 24. And you're probably going to get, let's say, 15 of them in the 24 range. Well, then you take those 24 and you bring in another bracket that had the same thing. That means the top 30 people shot a 24. So in order to separate yourself with tiebreakers, and in order to move yourself up the bracket, I can't afford to drop. I dropped hole number 5. I can't afford to drop a shot like that. And I dropped hole number 3. Now I turned right around and I picked up that shot on the next hole, and I was only one down, and then turned around and picked up number 16. But I have to be able to hold on to shots when we make these spectacular shots and we get one up. I can't afford, and none of us when we're playing these tournaments can afford to have to use that shot right there, that hole in one, to have to use that hole in one because I missed hole number 5. That's pitiful. So now the deal is that, let's say I pick that up on the weekend round and I shoot a 26, and somebody else shot a 26. They've got more eagles. Those are 2 eagles that I dropped. And that tiebreaker, that 24 tiebreaker, is not going to do me near as much good as a 25 or a 26 tiebreaker would do. So when you're down here, when you first start playing in these tournaments and you're down here and you find yourself consistently down in the 30s or 40s, it's really important to not worry about what the people at the top are shooting, but look at the people like, that next score up. Like, where did you drop that shot? Because in the weekend rounds, one shot is the difference between coming in 30th and coming in 15th. And that one shot at 15th is the difference between 15th and the top 10. And that one shot's the difference between a top 5, or possibly even a top 3, or a lower top 3, and a banner. So, you know, picking up one at a time, and it's just really important not to drop shots on holes that you should be getting eagles on. And that was my downfall in the opening round, but it was still a good tiebreaker. So going into the weekend, I mean, it's not all lost. I really feel that I have that 26 it's a possible. And so on the weekend round, I just have to make sure that on the holes we're supposed to get stuff on, that I continue to do that. Hole number 1 is critical, and I that is the one hole that I have been playing pretty good on. I don't want to jinx the whole deal, but I have been playing pretty good on it, and I have given myself opportunities, and I have been getting eagles on hole number 1. All right, that was hole number 18 of the Vintage Open Tournament and the opening round of the Rookie Division. Thanks for watching.